Hey, you guys, it's Rico, and I'm back again. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. There is still a whole lot of conflict going on in this world, and this conflict has to do with China and all of the tariffs and what's going on with the United States and Mr. Donald Trump, the president, and how it is all just collapsing. It continues to be such a collapsing show that only thing I think that we all can do at this point is just be like, what the hell were we all thinking? Because this whole back and forth between China and America has drugged everybody into this cesspool of hate and uncommon sense ideals. It's just like you rocked the boat when you didn't need to.
Comments come as U.S. President Donald Trump prepares to meet Chinese President Xi Jinping in South Korea later this month to try to hash out a trade deal. Trump was asked about the state of the relationship on Wednesday.
You're meeting with President Xi in a few weeks.
Yeah.
If you can't come to an agreement or a deal at that meeting, are we in for a sustained trade war with China?
Well, you're in one now. Look, we have 100% tariff. If we didn't have tariffs, we would be exposed as being a nothing. We would have no defense. You know, they've used tariffs on us, but we've never had anybody sitting in that chair that felt the need to do it.
You know, it's like you shook everything when it didn't need to be. These tariffs are tearing up everybody's livelihood. People are not making enough. Now, on top of this, the things that America needed that they were getting from other countries is in turmoil. And this goes to China and these rare materials. So China was also digging up in Africa for a while, and they were also taking materials from there. And so they also have these mines that are in China where they are digging up this material. And this material is being used to make a lot of electronics around the world, especially in America. It's used to make cell phones, cars, TVs, anything that you can think of that we would need, computers. And a lot of us don't think about what goes into making these electronics until it has to do with affecting us. And now China is taking a very huge stance on this material. And they're saying that we are going to raise the cost of you all importing this material because your orange man that don't really have no hair is still running around spouting nonsense about these tariffs and how it started. And what is actually going on is not the truth. He is painting this whole false picture, and there are some people that are believing it, but you cannot believe it simply because look at the evidence of what is going on in the world right now.
Besson out with some tough talk today, warning that the U.S. will neither be, quote, commanded nor controlled by China. This, of course, as a deepening trade standoff between the two world powers intensifies.
And make no mistake, this is China versus the world. They have put these unacceptable export controls on the entire world.
So follows a surprise announcement from Beijing just last week, threatening new limits on rare earth mineral exports, calling the move a global supply chain power grab. According to Besson, rare earth minerals are really just critical to manufacturing a wide range of products, everything from batteries to TVs, your smartphone, electric vehicles, even household goods.
If China wants to be an unreliable partner to the world, then the world will have to decouple. The world does not want to decouple. We want to de-risk.
America's not in a good place at all. People are suffering. And now Donald Trump is still like, well, China isn't doing what they're supposed to do. China is the one that is the problem. China is causing all of these tariffs. China is doing it. But you all poked the bear and you decided, well, China is going to raise their tariffs and the cost of trade. We're going to do it higher. Then China was like, okay, we're going to do it higher. And Donald Trump again was like, well, no, we're going to do it even higher. We're not going to back down. We're America. And it's like, you need these places. You need the trade because America is going to collapse on itself. Like, it's all fun and games when people are like, oh yeah, we only want stuff made in America. But at the same time, it's like that stuff that's not made in America, that has come here, that is passed off as being made in America, is helping the overall economy of America. So it's like you have to make it make sense. A lot of the foreign ideals, a lot of the foreigners that are coming in, that people who are American helped to bridge that gap in history to allow them to come in. There was a healthy exchange of the people coming here for a better life as well as helping the economy. Why? Because these people were doing jobs that a lot of working class Americans did not want to do. These people were working and helping to harvest food, materials here, doing all of these jobs that were the back-breaking, bottom-of-the-barrel jobs. And it was overall helping the economy. And now, look, we have China who is very angry right now. And I have, for a while on this channel, been very much calling out China when I feel like China is wrong. And there's a lot of instances where China is very wrong. In this instance, China is not wrong. China is very much in the right in this instance. I'm the type of person, like, if I feel like that you're wrong, you're wrong. If I feel like you're right, then I will say that you're right. China is right in this situation. They know that Donald Trump can keep playing with them. We will not have any type of resources, materials, or anything. China's government and their president is sitting over there right now. And they are deliberating. They're saying, well, you talk about you're going to go to war with us and we can go to war with you. And we have all these high-tech weapons that we're building. But let's talk about this material and how this material is really a magnet. It creates a magnet, and it's a magnet that goes into electronics. But not only electronics, it also goes into war weapons. So a lot of the weapons that the military uses, the army uses, that material is in the weapon. So, China's like, we can just stop the resource. Y'all won't have no weapons. Y'all won't have any way to defend yourself. We can blow y'all off the map in a minute. It's a scary thought. And it's the truth. Meanwhile, what do we have our president doing? Running around creating fake fallacies. And saying, oh, China did this. China is the one that is making trade hard.
It was incredibly aggressive. It was totally disproportional to anything that the US, the EU, or Canada, or anybody did. Because remember, these are global measures that the Chinese have put in place to purport to control the movement or export of any item containing certain rare earths from one country to another, right? Even if China is not one of the parties in the agreement. So in Geneva, we had an agreement where they would limit their rare earth export controls, they'd keep their retaliatory tariffs down, and we would suspend a good portion of our tariffs on the reciprocal tariff. And so we kept our part, we kept that tariff low, and we had very cordial and constructive discussions over the summer. And then again, a couple of weeks ago, the Chinese decided they were just going to go ahead and expand those controls on rare earths again, not on just us, but on the whole world. And now you hear a lot of narratives from the Chinese side of their surrogates saying, well, the Americans have put a lot of controls on us over the past few years, or they put out a new rule that would, to avoid evasion of U.S. export controls that they didn't like, or their fees on ships. So they're trying out a lot of different narratives when the reality is they just want to exert economic control on the world. They started in April with the rare earth magnets. They're using anything else that has happened as a pretext. The reality is we made a promise in May to keep our reciprocal tariff on them at 10%. We kept that promise, and they have not kept theirs.
But meanwhile, Even our allies are looking at Donald Trump and they're like, bro, you started this tariff war though. You didn't just tariff China, or like he says, China. You also sent tariffs to all of us too. We all are affected. All of our prices of trade has risen up. We're all suffering. But you know, Mr. Orange Man does not have the capability in his brain to get this. So that is how we ended up here. And now it's like everything is collapsing on itself. It's interesting though to look at how all of these different materials come from all these different countries, and how Donald Trump has constantly said, you know, everything is supposed to be in America and, you know, make everything American based. But it's like there's so much stuff that is not American based that has helped build the foundation of America. And I think that a lot of people, especially on the Republican side, did not realize this. And now the shocking truth comes out, and they have to see it for what it really is. It's sad. I really hope that this man. I don't have no hope for this man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't. Like, he will go forward with something and walk it back, and then be like, oh, I did not say that, but really he did. The people that support him, they're delusional. They are so up in the clouds and so just out of it. It is insane. Like, this whole thing is sad. In this instance, I'm like, leave China alone. Like, just leave China alone, because you're making it worse and you look stupid, because China does hold the power in this dynamic. They do. And like, we're all sitting here and it's like, oh, we don't know if they're going to plan some type of attack. We don't know if they're going to use some type of other resource and take it away. Like, they're doing so much right now and they know that they have the power. And it's like, we have a president that is a dodo brain that keeps messing around and playing games like he playing on a PlayStation. And it's like, no, this is the country we're talking about. This is the world. Act like it. So there's a lot to think about, you guys. How do you feel about this whole thing? Put below your thoughts. I would like to hear from you. Follow my social media, mostly my Instagram. Also blog the East Asian Pop Culture. The link is always down in the description box below. And remember, be real, stay real, live in the real. And I will always be back. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video. Be safe, be thoughtful, be alert, be smart.